Hey, and welcome. Today, we're going to go way beyond the usual money-saving tips. We're going to dive into a pretty profound philosophy that could totally reshape your relationship with wealth. This is all about the Japanese art of building real, lasting financial peace. So let's get into it.
What a question to start with, right? This quote from the Japanese Zen millionaire Ken Honda just cuts right to the heart of it all. It gets you to think about money not as just some number on a screen, but as a relationship. One that we can either ignore or one we can actively nurture. And today, we're going to learn how to nurture it.
So where do we even begin? Well, not with complicated spreadsheets or budgeting apps. We start right up here, in our minds. Because according to this philosophy, any true, lasting financial change is really an inside job first. The big idea here is that your financial life is basically a mirror, reflecting your beliefs about money. It's about seeing money as a form of energy that you can interact with in a positive way. So the most important takeaway is this: you've got to fix your perspective before you can even think about fixing your bank account. This brings up the super powerful idea of happy money. Instead of feeling that little sting of loss when you spend, you actually express gratitude. Think about it, saying thank you to the money for what it did for you, and then thanking it as it goes on to support someone else, like the person who made your coffee or the local grocer. This one little shift turns spending from a loss into a positive circular flow of good energy. Now, we get to a core cultural value, mottainai. This is this deep-seated belief that nothing should be wasted. It's that feeling of regret you get when something valuable isn't used to its full potential, like throwing out leftover food. Well, that same idea applies perfectly to money. Wasting money isn't just a small mistake, it's something to be consciously avoided. And that leads us right to another key idea. Denshari. This is the art of decluttering your life to create mental clarity. The principle is pretty simple. When your home is clear of junk you don't need, your mind becomes clearer too. And this, of course, extends to your finances, helping you cut through the mental clutter of all those impulse buys and just mindless spending.
Okay, so we have these big philosophical ideas, but how do you actually bring them into your everyday life? Well, that brings us to the central tool. It's simple, it's powerful, and it's been around for over 100 years. It's called Kakeibo.
Kakeibo literally means household financial ledger. It was created way back in 1904 for homemakers, and it's all about pen and paper. There are no apps to sync, no algorithms doing the work for you. See, the physical act of writing down every single purchase, that's the secret sauce. It forces you to be mindful. It's a kind of slow budgeting that builds a really powerful connection to where your money is going.
The whole process is built around 4 simple questions you ask yourself every month. First, you figure out what you actually have. Then, you set a savings goal. You track what you're spending, and then, and this is the most important part, you reflect on how you can improve. This isn't about being perfect, it's just about making small, steady, mindful progress.
Kakeibo keeps tracking super simple by using just 4 categories. You've got needs, your survival stuff, like rent and groceries. Wants, things you enjoy but don't strictly need, like eating out. Culture. This is for stuff that enriches you, like books or concert tickets. And finally, unexpected, for those emergencies, like a flat tire. This simple structure makes it crystal clear where your money is really going, without getting bogged down in dozens of categories.
Okay, so we've got the mindset, and we have the daily tool. Now, let's zoom out and look at the bigger system that puts wealth building on autopilot. Honestly, this is where the real magic happens.
This slide really says it all, doesn't it? The common habit for so many of us is you get paid, you spend on bills and fun stuff, and then you just hope there's something left over to save. The Japanese philosophy flips that entire script. You save first, and then your lifestyle just naturally adjusts to whatever's left. It's such a simple reversal, but it changes absolutely everything.
And a really practical way to do this is with the 70-20-10 rule. Think of it as a guideline. 70% of your income covers all your living expenses, both the needs and the wants. A full 20% goes directly to building your future through savings and investments, and that last 10% can be used for things like clearing debt or giving back. It's just a clear, sustainable framework to get started. And this is the most crucial part. The whole trick is in the order. The second you get paid, that 20% for your future is automatically moved. It's gone before you can even think about spending it. This takes willpower completely out of the equation. You're not saving what's left over, you're forced to live on and spend only what's left over after you've already paid your future self.
So how do we make this entire system stick day to day? Well, it all comes down to a few small but incredibly powerful daily actions.
Let's run through these real quick. First, Genkinshugi. Basically, try to use cash more. Handing over physical money just feels more real than tapping a card, doesn't it? Next, the 1% rule. This is a great one for killing impulse buys. If something's a big purchase, just wait 30 days. You'd be surprised how often the desire just fades. Then, Shuri and Jisaku. Repair things, make things yourself. And finally, just embrace motanai in your daily life. Make sure no resource goes to waste.
So as we bring all of this together, I think you can see that this is about so much more than just another budget. It's about a complete shift in your relationship with money. Ultimately, this whole journey takes you from a place of stress and anxiety about money to one of mindfulness, gratitude, and control. By consciously deciding where your money goes, you are, by definition, deciding what's actually important in your life. It really is a path to financial peace that's guided by your own values. And I just love this final thought from Ken Honda. This philosophy is a great way to get off that endless treadmill of comparing your life to others. The only real competition is with yourself, just trying to make small, consistent improvements day after day.
And that leaves us with one last really critical question to think about. By understanding your own values and your own goals, you can start to define your personal sense of enough. How much do you truly need to live a happy, fulfilled life? Answering that question might just be the most valuable financial exercise there is.